Hello everyone! The teaser for the third episode of Amazing Digital Circus by Glitch Productions was recently released, and I've already done my review on it. Check out my review. It's very interesting. And while everyone is waiting for the release of the third episode, I suggest you find out the most important secret of the second episode. It's going to be the top secret. Click subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Lock the doors. Make yourselves comfortable. Let's go! So in my past videos, I started to reveal to you the secrets of the second series of the Digital Circus Candy Carrier Chaos. And today, you will learn the most interesting secret of the second series. It's one that no one has ever told you about before. It's going to be the top secret of the second series. But if you haven't watched my first videos about the secrets of the second series, you'd better watch these videos first. I'll leave links to those clips in the video description. And here we go. First of all, let's look back at the second series again. Did you find some of the moments in this episode strange? You're probably not quite sure what I'm asking you yet. Okay. We'll come back to those strange moments in a moment and go over them all carefully. And now let's look together at two moments from the pilot that seemed very, very strange to me at the time. But I didn't know how to explain them at the time. How and why do these things happen? Unanswered questions. And they have to do with Jax. Maybe Jax already knew that at the time, and that's very intriguing. Look in the episode when Jax, Ragatha, and Pomni approached Kaufmo's room. Ragatha rang the doorbell, but the door didn't open. That's when Jax got the key to the door of Kaufmo's room from somewhere. It was very strange. Jax only had one pocket on the front of his pants, but he didn't get the key out of that pocket. He didn't even hold that key in his hand. The key somehow spun around on its own finger. The second moment had to do with the bowling ball. Remember when Jax took the ball from Kaufmo's room and ran off with it? But then we see Jax run past Kinger and Gangle, and there's nothing in Jax's hands. Nothing in his pocket either. He must have lost his bowling ball somewhere. But all of a sudden Jax pulls out this ball from somewhere. Jax is a wizard, a magician. Interesting and confusing. And now, let's take a close look at the second series of the Digital Circus. Our heroes are already in the truck. They want to catch up with the bandits. Suddenly Jax has a gun in his hand. Where'd he get that? Maybe the gun was already in the cab of the truck. We see that this gun looks a lot like a chocolate-covered waffle cake. Okay, let's say it is. In the next episode, when Pomni was holding on to two trucks with her arms and dangling between them, Jax decided to find the bazooka and began looking for it. Is it Jax's magic tricks again? Or his sorcery? Interesting. Let's keep watching. Suddenly, Kinger decides to help Pomni and throws her a life preserver tied with a rope. There was a life preserver in the truck. Very strange. But the rope was short and tied to nothing. So the life preserver flew away, and Jax took out his bazooka and shot Max the crocodile. Nice shot! Next, we see another amazing moment. Ragatha has a large kitchen knife sticking out of her head, and Kinger has 5 other knives sticking out of his head. I have already talked about this episode in the last video about the secrets of the second series. But back then, we talked about a different secret. Circus characters can't be killed or even damaged in this way. But the question remains, where did these knives come from? And how did they suddenly stick into Ragatha and Kinger's heads at the same time? Is it Princess Lulilalu's wickedness? I doubt it. Could it be Jax's tricks again, or his sorcery? Seeing as Jax brutally pushed Ragatha with a knife in her head, that's what I'm guessing. Plus, we hear Ragatha's voice. Why are there so many knives back here? Maybe we're getting closer to a clue. But let's look at the chase. What happened next? Next, Kinger tries to help Pomni again and throws her a big anchor. But now the anchor has a long rope. So long that Jax has time to ask Kinger, hey, Kinger, is that rope attached to anything? And now we're getting closer to the clue. There's the key. What did Kinger say? He said, "I don't know. Let me check." Where did Kinger get the anchor? And why doesn't he know if the rope is tied? Let's assume that the key to Kaufmo's room, the disappearing and reappearing bowling ball, the chocolate gun, the bazooka, and the kitchen knives are Jax's tricks, or his sorcery. But when Kinger wants to save Pomni, he throws her a life preserver. But for some reason, with a short rope. Then, Kinger wants to help Pomni again, and he throws her an anchor, but with a longer rope. And it has nothing to do with Jax anymore, except that Kinger doesn't have time to think about whether the rope is tied or not. But the moment Kinger went down to the cab of the truck to see if the rope was tied or not, the rope was firmly tied, the anchor caught on something, and the trucks were pressed against each other. Kinger's plan worked. Except he hadn't thought again. About what? He didn't think of the consequences, and there was an accident. So what was that? Kinger's tricks? Is Kinger a magician too? Interesting guesses. But it's much simpler than that. We're very close to solving the top secret of the second series. In his conversation with the Fudge, Jax says to Ragatha, "Why don't you leave this to me before I start thinking your hair looks like licorice?" And it's not so much the words about licorice that's important here. It's the phrase, "before I start thinking," that's important. He didn't say he was going to tell the Fudge. He said, "before I start thinking." That's the key. First, Kinger says, "I don't know. Let me check." He probably just didn't think of something. Then Jax says, "before I start thinking." But let's not jump to a conclusion and look further. And next, in his talk with the Fudge, Jax showed the key to the gate of the Candy Kingdom. But where did he get it? Because we all saw Princess Lulilalu give the key to Ragatha. And Ragatha never gave that key to Jax. And then Kinger wanted to save Ragatha from the Fudge, so he put a metal bucket over her head. Where did he get the metal bucket? They were all sitting on top of the truck, and the bucket wasn't there. And now you'll find out the top secret of the second series. Everything I've told you about in this video is not Jax and Kinger's tricks. Yeah, and Jax is not a wizard or a magician. And Kinger is not a magician or a wizard. Did I surprise you? It's simple. Strange things happen in the amazing digital circus. If a character in the digital circus really wants to achieve something and thinks very hard about it, objects appear in his hands with the help of which he can achieve his goal. Perhaps this is not always the case, and not everyone succeeds. Maybe you have to want it very badly. Remember how Kinger wanted to save Pomni very badly? And then, he wanted to save Ragatha from the Fudge. And objects appeared in his hands that Kinger could use. Perhaps Kinger doesn't quite realize this yet and is still doing these actions instinctively. But Jax, it seems to me, has already achieved greater skill and is already skillfully using it. That's why the digital circus is called Amazing. We have yet to see such abilities from Ragatha and Gangle and Zubul. But we have seen Pomni itself unlock some of the secrets and mysteries of the digital circus using the glitches and bugs of the system. And I have told you about this in my videos before. That's the kind of top secret we learned today. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed my video. Write in the comments to the video what you think about it and keep watching my channel. Don't forget to click subscribe to channel and put a like. And wait for new reviews on my channel. As always, it will be interesting and mind-blowing. Take care of yourselves, and keep secrets.